Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back. Today I'm in the Netherlands, to be more exact in Amsterdam, and I'm in front of the store Ophon, and I'm meeting up with Pete, who is the CEO of the company, and he's building record shelves, and not just any record shelves, very special record shelves. And I thought I'm coming up here and take you guys with me on the journey, so I would say let's go in and check it out. All right, so now we are inside the shop of Ophon, and this is Pete.
Hello.
Pete, thanks for having me up here.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Pete, before we get into the details, let's have a look at your record shelves. And I love these record shelves, by the way. So with which one shall we start?
Maybe we can start this one. Yeah. So this is actually came to be because I'm a record collector myself. Yeah. When I was a student, I had in my house, I had the records like this against the wall. And I always loved that because the whole feel, the look, the changing theme every day, there was something else, and it's all like little treasures. And I was always frustrated to put these little treasures like this, so you couldn't see anything anymore. On top of that, I'm quite visual and not ABC, so that's why I wanted to be able to browse. And then for a long time, I was much too much busy working and stuff like that. And then one of my friends, who's also a collector, he said, now you finally have to make something because I'm now getting so frustrated. So then in a holiday, I had some wood, leftover wood, and I thought, okay, I'll make a prototype and then I'll take it from there. So that's what I did, and took it to the factory, which I worked with already for my exhibition work. And together we developed it into the modular system. And for me, the two big advantages of this furniture is the artwork, the ever-changing scenery that you can make every day, and the fact that you can browse like this. So you can really very easily look for the record you're looking for. And in my system, it's not really alphabetical. So I have a little bit different categories, and then I go to the shelf of the category, and then in there I find it. So that's in short the story that's behind it. And then once I made the first two pieces, I thought, well, I put all this effort in, we made all these drawings, maybe I can investigate to make it into a real product. So that's what I did, and then I started trying to protect the idea, to make a brand name, to make some photos, to make a website, and then we had the website, and then the first real client came. We made another piece, and we made some developments, we made some extra adjustments, and then from that it grew. So the first ones were veneer furniture and spray painted furniture. This is an example of the spray painted furniture. So the first two I made was a veneered one in oak veneer and a spray painted one, which was white, the first one. But of course, with spray painted, you can choose any color you like. So the spray painted was for my friend, the veneer was for myself. I first made these two, and then the first client came also for spray painted. But I noticed also with spray painted and veneered, it's very labor intense. With spray painted, it's still okay, but still you need to sand and spray again and sand and stuff like that. So you need a lot of work. With veneer, you can imagine this front part needs to be solid wood. This all needs to be taped off with veneer. So every corner, every angle needs to be worked on. And it's a very labor-intense process. It's very beautiful, the end product, but it's labor-intensive. So it means the price will be high. Yeah. So
what's this here on the bottom?
Yeah. So that's all these furniture you can choose either a drawer or magnetic panel.
Okay.
And most collectors choose a magnetic panel because that's just extra storage here. You can store 80 albums in the conventional way. Some people keep their box sets there, or whatever you want to keep there, or use it for another purpose. That's the simple solution to use this. Then we can also have a drawer. I can show you later, maybe with this piece. This is one we made recently. It's a 7-inch.
Ah, okay, I see.
So it's the same principle, but for 7-inch. So there's really literally nobody that does a 7-inch in the record storage world. So there's no real furniture developed for that. but there are collectors. So I sold already a couple of units to somebody who had a big collection of 7-inch singles.
Not on Seoul or in the UK, people are collecting.
Yeah. And then, well, we're now here at the Birch Veneer, Birch multiplex with a top layer white or black. So I developed in this material the furniture because it needs to go into the CNC machine, but after that it only needs a little bit of sanding and it's ready for assembly. So there's no real, so actually also a factory who doesn't have a spray paint unit or whatever can make this. And then this one has a drawer.
Wow.
So that's also an option.
Hold on.
You can put some 12 inches here. Yeah, that's true.
Is that so? I've seen that you have this in various sizes and all of this. Can I go on your website, for example, and customize?
We're working now on a customizer for the 7-inch one.
Okay.
We don't have that yet, but that's not so difficult because it can be based on the same principle as the 12-inch one.
Okay.
For the 12-inch one we have, and you can literally choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in height.
Like
and
this
then,
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there is a little bit of limitation in the configurator because, as you can imagine, everything that you need to develop also comes at a price. So it's quite simple still, but you can also do pyramids. So you can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can do any shape you like, actually. We still need to make the configurator at some point that you could even do that, so that you can do your whole assembly already. But practically, people that want that first also want to contact me, and then I make a custom quote for them, and then we go there from that point. Also, for example, for my US customers, I have quite many people in the US, and we're now working with FedEx, is the company I use for shipping, and they have a plugin where they can calculate the price if you put your address. But still, to get that all functioning well technically is very difficult. It should not be, but it is. So for American clients, I say just send me an email, call me, and then we'll go from there. I make a custom quote, and then we work it like that. Yeah. So that's for the foreign people, that's the way it is. For the Holland and Belgium, they can just put the order in, make the payment. Yeah, and probably for Germany too, I think. But still, it's also this configurator. I think that's the price for the shipping that is not automatic yet, because it's difficult with the FedEx plugin. It doesn't work yet.
Pete, what kind of clients are buying these shelves, and where are these clients located? You mentioned international shipping, so... I did international shipping, but it's every time you get a new country, you need to find out how it works. So I must say America is very tolerant. They put some tax on it, but not too much. And it's quite easy to ship with FedEx, so the distribution networks is very good. So America is no problem. I shipped once to Canada. It's also okay. It works, but they have a much higher import tax on it, and they have more bureaucratic demands. And then within Europe, of course, it's no issue because Europe is the free market, open market. Except unfortunately the UK. I'm very sad that they went out of this common market, but. We can also ship there, but it's like foreign country. Yeah. So, but for example, Germany, I think somebody ordered a unit like this 4 wide recently, and it was in North Rhine-Westphalia, and it was €200 to send it there with FedEx from Amsterdam. So that's the reasonable amount for such a long distance. So we're working and we're slowly building, of course, because it has to grow. We try to advertise, but there's a big cost for advertising. And the idea just needs to spread in a natural way too. People see an image and they think, oh, that's nice, I like that. And we just try, several different ways to get the clients. Yeah. When did you start to go on the market and saying, okay, I love this, I'm built this for private? You said that in the beginning. Yeah. When was the point you said, oh, I get so many requests from friends and people? When was the idea to start a business?
So then the website was there. We made the website, and then we said, okay, now we need to also make the next step, and that's really start actually promoting the product ourselves, because it was too much dependent on a coincidence. Somebody saw somewhere the website mentioned, went to the website, became a client, but it was too coincidental. So then we started working for the first time with somebody that did some social media advertising for us. Then you need to start making content. Then also in this process, you need to make the way people can buy it as easy as possible. So there's no hurdles. Yeah. So then we came up with the configurator. Then we came up with the shop where you can put it in a bin and then pay, and then you have it. You know, that's the way it works. Like I said, we're now working on the plugin for sending it, which is still, hopefully quite quickly it will become functional and operational. And then actually you can decide from your living room you want it yes or no. It's of course, what we notice up to now is that we advertise, but it's of course not a product. It comes at a price, so it's not something you decide very impulsively. Mm-hmm. Most people want to think about it, or what I notice is many of my clients keep it for when they move from one house to the next, when they build a new house, or when they have a birthday, or so they keep it also for an occasion where they can connect it to. So I have many clients who want to put it in a new interior. I get requests often from people from interior architecture, so that are not really as much related to a music collection, but much more visual oriented and design oriented. So that's also nice. At some point I was even thinking maybe we should do these furnitures with already a nice collection inside, you know, sell it like that for people that don't have a collection, or so they have like a start, and you can start from there. So So first of all, I want to point out how much I love the selection of the records which are up here. Some of them I'm still looking for as original ones. So what I wanted to ask Pete is, I did a video about like 1 or 2 years ago about record shelving, and we were discussing IKEA Kallax and some accidents which happened for some people with these Kallax shelves. And I was always been told when I did research for that episode was always mount the shelf to the wall. Otherwise you get problems. It's rock solid. I mean, it's really rock solid. I can't even... Not even filled.
Yeah.
So and the heavier it becomes, the more solid it becomes.
I was trying to move it a little bit and found the weak point, but it's really rock solid. Yeah. Do I need to mount this to a wall or not?
Like you don't need to, because I put so many units already now, and the experience is the units work vertically, yeah. So you can choose your height. Each unit has 4 little feet on the bottom. So when I erect these things, I make sure all the feet touch the bottom. So this unit has 8 feet on the bottom. Mm-hmm. Then once it's all set up, I put it a little bit backward towards the wall. So I turn the front legs a little bit out, and all the weight also always wants to go to the back. So there's no way this is ever going to come like this.
Okay. And there's also no way, because I'll show you guys it later on when we make some close-ups. So there's a little...
There's a groove
here. Yeah, thank you. There's a groove in here. So when you have the records, it actually stops up here, and there's no way that it can fall, right?
Slide out. So the first record in front just hits the groove, and then it cannot go further. So it cannot. It's like an automatic lock. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's interesting. Yeah, it's on the back. There's also a little piece of wood. It has an oblique side, so it's a little bit at an angle. So the records always stand leaning towards the back wall. And that makes sure that if this wouldn't be there and they would go straight, then they would fall like this. They could fall in front. Mm-hmm. So because of this, they cannot fall at all. So they cannot also not come forward.
Okay, I'm just showing you guys that for the camera. This is it. And this is the same material as the other ones, correct?
Yeah, it's
kind of
similar. Yeah.
Similar.
Like, this is not such an important thing because it lies in the back. You never see it, but It just has a function. But if you, for example, you can take this out, and you can still use it like this. So if you're running out of space, you don't have money yet to buy the next unit, then you can, for some shelves, you can switch to this again. But yeah, of course, preferably you have your covers front. So like this. Yeah.
Okay, we've. I love it. I'm falling. The more you talk, I'm falling in love with it because I'm also a visual person.
Yeah.
So I have IKEA Kallax at home, which is money-wise great. It's very cheap. Yeah. It's very cheap. My issue with this is the records are exactly the way you just showed it. And I'm also an A to Z person. You know, I have like little wood inserts where see there's A, there's B, but I'm also always like this, you know, and so I think this is just perfect. So let's discuss pricing. Yeah. How much, if I want this as it's up here, you mentioned there are drawers inside there where I can put stuff.
This one is magnetic panels. Yeah. So this is actually the most basic version. And I think it's, I should have to look it up in the configurator. I think it's about 1,300 euros, this one. Mm-hmm. That's including the VAT, which is in Holland 21%. So for...
and I thought Germany was high.
Yeah, so that's the state also is making a little bit of money on it. Yeah, so this basic version is around this price, and yeah, of course you can imagine IKEA Kallax. Yeah, that's actually not really something we want to compete with, or we think we should compete with. It's a totally different concept. Yeah, in IKEA furniture you assemble once. And then when you need to move places, you try to disassemble it. But by the time you get to your new house, you think, okay, I'll just rather go buy another one at IKEA and not reassemble this one because it's not made to last. And this is a much more high-end material. It's a birch multiplex. It's a very nice, dense wood with a high-end top finish, a furniture finish, which is also durable. It will last over time. And yeah, so I think these pieces of furniture will still be there in 40, 50 years. Like records. Nobody threw away their records. The records remained, and that's why people can come back to them now. That's why it's such a nice hobby. And so will these pieces of furniture. And yeah, of course, producing something at a small scale in Northern Europe, in a sustainable way, that comes at a price. I have it produced in a very high-end factory, which has beautiful machinery, who is CO2 neutral producing. So they, for example, they heat and they create electricity by burning their waste, etc., with filters and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what you have in the Netherlands, and that also comes at the price. So I have to buy my product there, and then I need to make a margin. And yeah, of this margin, I also need to pay all the expenses I have: advertising, packing, all the things that come after it. So, as much as I would love to make it less expensive, this is where we are at now. The war in Ukraine, for example, gave us horrible troubles because most of this stuff comes from Ukraine, this wood. Yeah, so now we're getting it from Finland. It's something else, so it's more reliable. Yeah, there was COVID, which was a challenge for us. Then after COVID came an enormous inflation. It's another markup of 15% or something. But still, yeah, there's not so much you can do. But yeah, try to still, make the product into the market. And there are people that luckily there are people that say, okay, it comes at the price, but I get something really nice and I believe in it and I just want it. And I think it's not so much different as any other product in that sense. You can. It just depends how you look at it. And I think that's a little bit difficult because people are, in a way, spoiled by IKEA. It's so easy and so cheap to get your furniture there, which of course is amazing because even if you don't have so much money, you can find a good solution. On the other hand, because they are such a big company, they can mass produce. So they actually kill all other competition almost. Yeah, at least in this price range, there's nobody that can compete with IKEA. So that's, I think it's also the comparison is made because for vinyl collectors, there's only Kallax actually as a cheap solution. I have some competitors, but I don't think real competitors because they don't really work with the total integration of sleeve art and storage. So you have other pieces of furniture where you can do a little bit of display, but not 100% display. So. And also, if you look at these people, you will see that these prices also higher, but still maybe a little bit less because they use less wood or less. It's what I can still tell about it is we looked at the spray painted furniture. We can also make a veneer, which is really high end and really luxury. You can even choose your own veneer if you don't care. The sky is the limit. But then I decided I want to make a piece of furniture which is potentially as much available to everybody as possible. That's why we came up with this one. As you can imagine, because you have the core of the materials exposed, this can be produced in a CNC machine. When it comes out, you just have to sand it down a little bit, and then you can assemble it, and that's it. So it's not like with spray painting, is that you need to sand it, and then you need to paint it again, you need to sand it again, you need to paint it again. That's of course much more labor intense, and that means that the price will go up because of that. So
it's great that this is so soft because when you are not having your records in the outer sleeves, and you have not this soft and there's wood coming out of it, and you have like your original blue note or whatever, and you kind of scratch or cause damage. So this is super soft, material, and you would also have a different price if you would sell as many Kallax as IKEA does per day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we hope in the end, at some point, we will come to a scale where it's possible also to start bargaining with the producer, to say, okay, we're now making so many units, we want you to start working with us on the price, because in the end, maybe it sounds a bit crazy, but I think for everybody in the vinyl industry, it's a little bit also labor of love. So you can make a living in it, but it's also because of passion. I think most people are in it. Like me, I also came to this from a passion of vinyl and stuff like that. So I think maybe for me, ideologically, it's more important to bring the product to the world than to become a wealthy man because of the furniture.
You're doing this mostly alone?
Yeah. So I started it alone, and then at some point I was approached by, I was complaining to my friend because I'm 53. And that means, well, social media and stuff like that is not really, so close to me. So I said, I need somebody like in the beginning of their 30s who can help me maybe a little bit. And then Danny, the boy you met before, he sent me an email. I said, I'm a writer for vinyl stuff. Maybe I can help you a little bit. I said, well, that's perfect, So since then, he's helping me a little bit with writing copy, making social media posts. And it's also nice to have somebody which you can partner with a little bit or talk about ideas, what we will do next, what will be our strategy. It's very much trial and error all the time to see what will work best. Maybe we should make an advertisement for example, in the German vinyl magazine. Yesterday I was at a client who said, I'm also, that's 50 plus. I'm not looking social media. I'm reading a magazine. I sit down and I take the Oor is in our country a big magazine. I take Oor and then I see the advertisement, and that's how I came to the idea of your furniture. So it's still looking, because I noticed that most of my clients are same age as me or a little bit older. They already had their career. They made money, so that's not really the first issue. And they come at the age where they think, okay, now I want to spend some money on myself, So the children are leaving home. I don't need a big car, I want this. So they buy it. And then most of the clients I think are from that, And also what is important, it's maybe a bit traditional, but of course, many times there's a couple, So there's the man and the woman, and the man is not allowed to take the records with the Kallax into the living room because it's not really nice to see, I can imagine. And now with this furniture, the partners are convinced it's okay, because now it becomes actually something that makes the living room more interesting and more nice. Yeah. So that's what happens too. Yeah.
So and then you can have a good excuse and saying, "Honey, I need to buy more records." You see, it's not looking so good with so less records. I need more. I totally get that. I totally get that.
And then once it gets full, you say, "Oh, it's not nice anymore. Now it's so full. We need to buy an extra unit." Eh? So that was also my idea, which is also important, by the way, to mention. That is so because it's so produced with CNC technology, with computer-guided machines, is that you buy this one now, and in 10 years you'll come back and you say, I want 2 more. And you just need to take off this outer panel, put the other 2 against it, connect them, put it, and then you can so you can expand if you want in the future. It's not a thing you buy once and then you cannot grow. You can still grow.
So Piet, how many records does fit in here?
This unit will hold 640, and that's counting 60 with the face forwards. And if you put them sideways, of course, in the conventional way, which you can do in the bottom, then you can hold this space can hold 80 records. Yeah, but then they're of course stored like this. But many people, I think, use this for box sets, for example, that you don't need to. You can easily see what is there. You can get it. Yeah. So. You don't need to browse for things you don't need to browse. That's yeah.
If I order one, and I'm living like, I don't know, in Europe, and how long do I need to wait, and how long do I need to wait if I order from the United States?
I think it's practically, amazingly enough, nowadays almost the same. United States can take a little bit longer. I already had amazing stuff, like it was there within 4 days, even with FedEx Economy on the other side in Los Angeles. But recently I had a client who had to wait for 1.5 weeks because something in the logistics was broken, some belt in Belgium somewhere, and it took almost 5 days to repair it, and then it took longer. So you're not really in control of that. But let's say for production is 4 weeks, and then I promise to my clients always 4 to 6 weeks because of when we had this corona, we had really big issues with you promise something and I'm dependent on production. Yeah, so if production has problems, issues, no people coming to work and stuff like that, which is now luckily over. So there's quite a fair guarantee that it's at least it's produced in 4 weeks, and then I take another 2 weeks for distribution. So I need to pack it, and then we need to send it, and then it needs to go somewhere. But the client in Germany, for example, was 2 days. Yeah.
Getting back to IKEA and Kallax, usually it's super simple to build the Kallax. Yeah. You're done in like 30 minutes, even if you have a large one. Yeah. How long do I need, while we are standing in front of this, how long do I need to build this?
Well, I'm an experienced builder now. So a unit like this, but 4 wide, it takes me 1 hour. I think if you never did it, a unit like this will take you 45 minutes. We made a very good instruction video. It's very simple, nothing can go wrong. So it's all designed in such a way that you cannot really make a mistake. Only exception is it's much more sturdy and much more strong. Yeah, so IKEA, if you look at the Kallax and the interior of the material, the outside looks solid, but the inside is actually a very low density compressed wood fiber with sometimes inserts in it where you can put these screws. Well, these screws that are on the side here, they really screw into this hard material, so it really draws strong together, and it's very sturdy and very strong. So it can easily take the weight. It will never start hanging or stuff like that. So I think it's very comparable, the time to assemble it. It's actually a little bit like IKEA. So you get a parcel at your house, which is quite flat. It has this size, but it's flat. All the wood and everything is in there. And then we have a YouTube video, which we send to you when you buy it with the instruction. And then it's, easy peasy.
So there's no way I can ruin it with putting the screw too tight in it or anything?
No. If you just follow the instruction, but it's like IKEA, of course. But this one is even better because you don't need to read. Yeah, so you watch the instruction. So
with my iPhone, and I'm like with the screw.
Yeah, it shows itself. So it's a pity I cannot show you. I think we put online somewhere some demonstration where it's a time lapse where I do it very quickly. You can see it there a little bit, how quick it goes.
If it happens and I need a spare part, what will be done then? So, did you ever had that thing that somebody needed a spare part? Okay.
No, never yet. For this material, it's very sturdy material, so it doesn't damage that quickly. Yeah, of course, it doesn't damage quickly in this environment. I don't want to say if you start moving it around and stuff like that with any kind of furniture, it can damage. For the spray painted cupboards, we always send a little, which has some extra paint in it, just in case that you damage something, you can quickly restore it yourself.
Like nail polish.
Like nail polish. Yeah, actually, we're working towards getting a little bit smaller tube for this.
I know that's from the nails. If you scratch them, you can.
So but there's I never got that. But in case it might happen, then you just write me or call me, and we send you a new shelf. Or because it's all interchangeable. The only thing is that this shelf is a little bit different because it has the magnets. So it also has the. So maybe I can show you somewhere. So this is the outer panel. It can be used as well as right also on the left side. It doesn't matter which side you use it. And then the planks, the lying parts, they come into these little holes, you see, there. You just push them in, so always in the right position, and then you just tie them. And this one on the bottom has a little bit different position for that one, so you don't confuse it for this one, because it has the magnets there for the magnetic panel.
So this is just one. Usually there are two on the outside,
yeah,
right?
So you get your parcel, you get two of these, all the lying shelves and the back panel. And that's it. And you just put it on the floor and just assemble it, and that's it. Yeah.
Piet, if people want to, let's say, do an individual work on their shelf, like for example an LED light, is there do you deliver something with this? Can people do that themselves?
No, I don't deliver, but accidentally by chance now we're lending our furniture for an exhibition, which will be in Haarlem Vinyl Festival. And William Ellis is the photographer. He photographs people with their record of choice. And actually, it's a very nice experiment, because if you start thinking yourself, which one would I choose of all my records that I have, and why? There's so many reasons. So it's a very nice thing, but it's in a very dark place, this exhibition. So I now created something for this special occasion, some lighting which I fitted on top of this. Well, this is a very cheap solution. It's like a battery-powered little set of €1.50, but it works. So. I thought about it before, but what the problem is a little bit, if you make a product, then you are responsible that it functions. So the more complicated things you add, the more responsibility you add. And we're actually not at the point right now that we want that kind of extra burden.
But if I want to, I could buy myself on Amazon or wherever these kind of stripes and do it myself.
Absolutely, yeah. And even thinking, I cut something here now from foam board, which is so to make the light even indirect, because it's these little dots here. But I didn't want to see them. I also didn't want their reflection. So I can show you. I was experimenting now. So the photos in the exhibition will be like this. And then the indirect lighting through the ceiling will light each unit separately. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I like that. I like that with the light.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's possible. Yeah. But it's still, like I say, everything that you create needs to be durable, and it's easier said than done to make something which you can. Really, I want to sell something which I'm really convinced about. I'm convinced about these units. I'm convinced about their quality, their sturdiness. I never got any complaint back in all the 3 years that I'm selling them now. People are really, really happy with it. They come back as second-time customers. They want more. So yesterday I was in a client who already bought 5 and now bought 4 extra. So he has like 9. That's very nice. Yeah, so this you can bricoler, like the French say. You can make something yourself if you want. Why not? Yeah.
Okay. So there was one version I saw here in your showroom, and I want to show the people this one as well. So this version, so it's strong enough to hold a turntable, to hold the amp.
Absolutely.
How much weight can I put on these?
Oh. Quite a lot, I think. I never actually weighed literally a pile of records, how much that is. But it's so strong because of, look, like you can see also here, if you look from the side, this is not coincidental, this shape. It came to be, this angle came to be because of two reasons. First, it's a reference to the size of the LP itself. And secondly, it's just taking the weight from all the front to the back, yeah? And then here it's all the weight distributed downwards. So it's very strong and very sturdy. Because the albums are like this, yeah, the whole oplegging, I don't say the word in English, but the force really comes to the side panel. The side panel brings it down, so there's no real chance of warping or whatever. And in this case, I made this piece of furniture because we want to listen our records here too, yeah, and this is well to reach. You could even do one higher if you're a little bit bigger. You could put your amplifier one up and put an extra shelf underneath. And what another client we made for several other clients, also for the US, is that you have this in the middle and then you go up and you have like 2 units of 3 and 2 units of 3 on the right and the left side.
Can I put, if I decide, oh, I need more space, can I put another ones on top of this and another one on this one?
You cannot change the height, but you can change in the width. You can add or take off. Yeah. So, but you cannot. We didn't develop something that you can put. We had to choose either to divide vertically or horizontally. Yeah, and then vertically is more practical, of course, because you can. Somebody has only small space, somebody has a big wall, somebody has a very wide wall but doesn't want to go high because they want to hang a painting or something on top. Somebody else says, okay, I don't have much width but I have height. Then you can go to furniture like this, which is 5. This is the highest units that we make. You see you have really...
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, huh? So...
I need a leather to...
Yeah, and that's what I have in my house. So I made a special... I will show you. I have a little ladder standing next to mine in my house because it's also 5 high. It's a little more nicer than this one. I painted the one I have in my house. Just put it to the side and then you can still use it the same way as you use the other ones. You can browse. And I must say normally I have of some artists I have bigger collections, yeah. And those are on top. So because that's more practical. If I need to find some Bowie, for example, I just go to that shelf and find it quickly. Yeah? So yeah. So you need little stairs. That's true. Yeah. But anyhow, you would need the stairs also if it was a conventional method that high. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a final look at the 45 one. Are you also working on a 10-inch one? Because a 10-inch 45? No, I'm not. And I have to be honest, 10-inch is so specific. 45 is already more specific. But there are people that are really singles collectors. Yeah, so that's how it also came to be, where I was approached by somebody who had a big collection and said, I want your furniture, but I want it for 7-inch. So first we made a version for him, a spray painted version. And then we decided, okay, well, it's not so difficult now to also offer it as a modular thing. So also with these ones, you can choose which height you want. So you can also go 5, 4 or 3 high even. And then comparable to these models. Only thing is that these units come with 2 next to each other already as 1 unit, 2 shelves. Otherwise, it would become much too bulky with the material for every 7-inch to double. That would be too much. Yeah.
Wow, Piet, thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed it tremendously.
Thank you
did
so much.
Awesome. I can hardly wait for people's reaction. I think it's tremendously well. It's not comparable with IKEA. Yeah. Of course, it is very great material. And well, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I will checking around now a little bit more, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank